Peaceful Nik the Medium. I'm an evidential medium, and I am here tonight to talk to you about all things mediumship. I'm just managing a couple of different streams here. And let me just turn that on Do Not Disturb. Okay, perfect. So tonight I will be talking about the best ways to become a medium. How do you become a medium? And answering your questions. And I might do a couple card pulls at some point. So when you join, please let me know you are here. I have been on the Unbelief podcast. That is now on unbeliefpodcast.com and all the other places you would find podcasts. That is with Jeremy Steele. He is a pastor and a skeptic, and he interviewed me about my journey from being agnostic / atheist / scientist into mediumship and a believer in the collective consciousness. Hi, true callers. Put as many questions in the chat as you want. Patty, Christine, everybody who's over here, please go here because of this. Please read that. That would be very helpful. I want to continue to do lives and live readings and answer your questions in order to keep up with my clientele, to continue giving free readings when it is appropriate, and just continue being engaged. I have a bunch of stuff coming up. Please watch the Unbelief podcast. It's on YouTube and on all the other places you find podcasts. I have a free guide to finding your spirit guide on my website that you just go to my website, which should be scrolling here soon, peacefulnikthemedium.com. And you can click the button and there's a free guide to finding your spirit guide with embedded links to walk you through that. I have a Find Your Spirit Guide mini gallery, mini workshop on January 23rd. It is very inexpensive. I think it's $15, and I will walk you through how to find your spirit guide in that workshop. I have a beginner's mediumship mentorship starting January 25th. That is a 6-month mentorship. There's only, I think, one place left for that, one spot available for that 6-month mentorship. My next one won't start for a month or two. So if you want to get into that, go ahead and sign up on my website. I have a tarot oracle card gallery on January 26th with a guaranteed reading. I will be with Lady Shadow or the Urban Witch. We will be pulling cards. Guaranteed reading, only $15 for that. I have the Spirit Exchange with medium Kathy Behrens on January 30th. That's a 90-minute gallery with 2 mediums, and you have a chance to get a reading, and we give away free prizes in that. So that is January 30th. So I think that's all of my new upcoming stuff. So please go, if you're over here, read this and go over there to YouTube. And if you're here on YouTube, say hi so I know you're here. And I want to talk about, I started a couple minutes early because it's, sometimes YouTube's a little glitchy, as we know, as we've experienced. I want to talk about some things that you will learn in the 6-month mentorship. So tonight's all about learning mediumship. One of my most common questions is, how do I find my spirit guide? Hi, Miss P. Hello. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. How do I find my spirit guide? And there are several techniques to do this. And what is your spirit guide? And is a spirit guide and a guardian angel the same thing? So, technically, no, they're not the same. Technically, a guardian angel is an entity, an angelic entity that has never lived on earth. It has only stayed in the spirit realm. A spirit guide has had lives here or on another planet, if you believe in that, or if you believe in any of this. So that's what most mediums and spiritual workers, that's the definition most of them use. Angel has never lived on earth. They can come here. I do have a wonderful story. My oldest sister was driving in the middle of winter, it was Thanksgiving, from St. Louis to Lexington, Kentucky, with her 4 kids in the car. One wasn't biologically hers, but she was raising her. Hi, Christine. And she hit a deer. And it was the middle of the night. And some lady pulled over and drove her hundreds of miles, her and her 4 kids, home. Didn't ask for money, didn't give her name, didn't tell her anything. She never saw her, found her ever again. So that's that to me is an angel. And those stories are pretty common. So they can come here to Earth. And hi, Miss Fortune, I'm over here now. If you want to go there, I appreciate it. So they can come to Earth, but they don't live a full life on Earth. And then a spirit guide can be, say, a great-great-great-grandma that you never knew, but they've been guiding you this whole time. They're probably in your soul family. So that's the difference. And when in class, in the mentorship, in the 6-month mentorship, and in the workshop that I have coming up on the 23rd, Find Your Spirit Guide workshop, and in the beginner's mentorship, I walk you through the process. There are several techniques. Hi, Trent. There are several techniques for me to walk you through, me or anybody can. And I have videos on my YouTube channel. And I have a free guide to finding your spirit guide on my website with the videos linked in it. Just go on my website, click the link. It'll send it straight to your email. Totally free. What else? So finding your spirit guide. When you do that, we have to raise our vibration. We have to understand that the world is so noisy, and we have to get in a place where we quiet our mind, where we slow down our mind. Hi, Kimberly. I'm so glad you made it. Where we slow our thoughts down. Hi, Kelly. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are here. I'm so happy. We need to slow down our thoughts in order to find our spirit guide. Pardon me with the throat lozenge, okay? The world is noisy. When we go driving to work, if you live in an area where there's, more than a few people, you're probably stressed out driving to work. While you're at work, there's people there. You're probably stressed out about that. You're driving home from work. Then you got to cook dinner. Hi, Diva. Can you go over here, please? Because of this. Hi, Taurus. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Oh, you guys make me so happy. So when we are stressed out and our mind is busy, and then you got to come home, and then you got to cook dinner, and then you got to do the laundry, and then you got to do all these things. Okay? It's really hard to find your spirit guide if you just got home from work and you got to cook dinner, and the kids are coming home from school, and your husband's walking through the door, or your wife is walking through the door, or whatever's happening, the neighbor's knocking, and your mind, you got to slow down. You got to slow down. Your mind can't be busy when you're trying to find your guide. Now, some people their guide pops in at some point in their life, and they don't even realize their guide is there, or they don't even realize that's what it is. And some people know that they have this presence around them all the time. That's great. So, if you have not found your guide, you have to slow down. You have to slow down your thoughts. Maybe take a bath. If you're a bath person, maybe take a shower. If you live where you have a hot tub, get in the hot tub. You want water to neutralize any energy. Hi over here. Read this little thing here. You want to slow down your thoughts. You want to create gaps between your thoughts. And then you want to raise and elevate your consciousness and make a space to invite your guide in. And so you want to breathe. Now in the workshop, I'll spend much more time going through this. This is just a general quick overview. You want to clear your mind, slow down your thoughts. Then you want to elevate your consciousness, breathing, breathing, breathing. And then you want to lift up your awareness and expand your awareness and invite them in. And then I walk you through, depending on the progress of the people in the workshop or the mentorship, I walk you through some different techniques. So, anybody have any questions on YouTube? So, finding your spirit guide is important. I have a story. Most of you, if you have been here before, know my spirit guide story. I am a scientist and a science communicator and educator for over 20 years. And I never imagined I would be a medium. And so I was really just testing myself more than anything to find out if this was real. Because my mentor in my beginner's mediumship courses said you have to find your spirit guide and then you have to ask them for a sign. And I thought, okay, she's crazy. That's not real. And that's what I thought. And so for those of you who haven't heard it, here's the story. If you've heard it, tune out for the next couple of minutes because I've told it so many times. I said, okay, it was March. I said, show me a snow globe because you're not going to see a snow globe in March. And I was like, whatever, and just kind of blew it off. And I was scrolling Instagram as you do, and a psychic advertisement with a snow globe popped up. And I thought, okay, that's a coincidence. And then a couple hours later, the same ad popped up. And you know, Instagram has tons of ads. And so I thought, okay, that's interesting, but I still don't buy it. And FYI, I've never seen that ad since that day. So let's just talk about that. And then the next day was a Sunday. My husband loves golf, and we went to this golf shop. And on the counter of the golf store was a golf snow globe. And I was like, that's interesting. Okay, so that is weird. All right, maybe that's the guide. That's the guide. Oh, we have a troll. Oh, this poor troll says boo and boring. I hope you are healing yourself. So if they have to go. I'm sorry for the pause. Okay. We had to get rid of that person. I'm sorry about that. So was at the golf store, snow globe, blah, blah, blah. The next day was a Monday, and I went to work, and I had to go in this area of my job that I hadn't been in before because I was newer to this school. And I walked in, and a woman who had been working there for 40 years had this big new office that she had. And I looked to the left, and there were rows and rows of shelves of snow globes that she had been collecting from students. She taught the kids that had learning challenges. That was her job. And she had rows and rows of snow globes in there. And I was like, okay. That's too much. That's too much confirmation. And so that was my convincing spirit guide story. So if you have a guide, or you think you have a guide, ask them for a sign. And I always say, ask them for something that is not too complicated and not too simple. Don't ask for a pirate ship to pull up to the front of your house, and don't ask for a penny or a dime. I think coins can be too easy personally for something like this. Linda, great question. She wants to know, a spirit guide is a family member who has crossed over. It could be a family member that you never knew. Usually you don't know your guides here in this life. It could be a great-great-great-grandma or a great-great-great-grandpa. But I get a lot of questions about this. Some people ask, is my mom my spirit guide now that she's passed away? Now, personally, it does not matter to me. It does not affect me and my life in any way, shape, or form. If you think your mom is your spirit guide, technically, your loved ones who you knew on earth that died can guide you, but are not technically your spirit guide. Your spirit guide is usually someone you've never known. It could be a grizzly bear, Trent. That's right. It could be. Hi over here. Read this and go there, please. Thank you. It doesn't have to be a human form. It can be a rock. It can be a tree. It can be a rhinoceros. It can be Yoda. It doesn't matter what form they take, because in spirit, they're really just an orb of energy. And their names aren't names. They don't really have names. It's just an energetic imprint. So the names, like my main guide is George. So his name probably in spirit probably isn't George, but that's the name that came to me when I found him. And my other guide is called Mother Guide. She is not my mother, even though my mother has passed away. This guide is a very different energy. And she's for, every time I see her, she shows me the, the little red square for emergency only when you crack it in a building, like for the fire extinguisher or whatever. That's what I see. She's for emergencies only. So you're welcome, Linda. So technically, a spirit guide is someone you haven't known in this lifetime. But if you want to call your loved ones that have passed over your guides, I'm fine with that. Because my mother passed in 1986, and I have felt her guiding me all these years. So everybody over here on TikTok, thank you for being here. Because of what's happening Sunday, please read that. According to Reuters, the news organization, the clock app will be turned off on Sunday for everyone. Hi, Ash. So if you are on the clock app, if you follow me on the clock app, please go to my YouTube and Facebook pages and follow me there, because that's where my lives will be. Now maybe there will be a miracle, but I'm not really mad about it. Anyway, it was giving me fits. Okay. Now, Oracle and Tarot. So, what is the difference between Oracle and Tarot? I get this question a lot as well. These are Oracle cards. There's many kinds of Oracle cards, and Tarot for that matter. This This is the Star Codes Astro Oracle deck, which I love. I love these. They're nice and they're thicker than cardstock, not as thick as poster board. They're very durable. They're beautifully illustrated. Beautiful illustrations. Because my master's degree is astronomy, I really love astronomical maps and themes. Kimberly, how long is the beginning of mentorship? It's once a month for 6 months. And it's 3 hours once a month. And in between, depending on the needs of the class, we have practice sessions for an hour to an hour and a half. Some people don't want to do the practice session. Some people do. The class I'm in the middle of now really wants the practice session. So we've done a practice session in between every class. My previous classes only wanted 1 or 2 practice sessions. So I really tailor it to the needs of the student. And if you want to have a one-on-one, just chat with me on Zoom for free, email me, Linda. Oh, wait, who was that? Oh, Kimberly. I'm sorry. I looked at the wrong name. Email me, Kimberly, and I will set a Zoom for you, a Zoom one-on-one little conversation. It's here. Let me put my. Oh, that's funny, Kelly. There's my email address. Yeah, you can go to the website to register. Yeah. Yes. Linda said, I've lost 4 sisters and 2 brothers, my mom and dad. Oh, I'm so sorry. So they'll all be guiding you. And you can learn to communicate with them anytime you want. Anytime you want. Yeah, and the website is right there. So that's in the chat. So your loved ones will definitely be guiding you. Yeah, for sure. So my mom passed unexpectedly when I was 15, like at my feet, and it was kind of shocking, obviously. Thank you, Ash. You can go over here though, because the TikTok is shutting down. Hi, Rhea. I have felt my mom with me. I have felt her guiding me. I can feel her presence. I can feel her around me. She wasn't a perfect person. She made a lot of mistakes in her life, but because I have an understanding of her human life and the past she had, I understand what made her go on the path she went on. So a lot of times people hold things against their loved ones who pass away because they may not have been perfect, but we really should have a more compassionate outlook when someone makes a lot of mistakes. What is it behind them? People aren't born bad. I have an aunt who, when I was a kid, used to say, some babies are just born bad. And I'm like, that is so ridiculous. That does not happen. Why does the universe seem so uncertain? My energy is crazy. All things are going wrong. What do you do to not let it affect you? Oh, that I'm going to answer all of that. Let me take a sip of water because that is an excellent, excellent question. I feel so technically, astronomically, scientifically, the universe is always in a moving toward disorder. It's called entropy. It's moving towards disorder. Everything is getting more chaotic in the physical actual universe. But as far as your energy is crazy, we are just now coming out of a full moon cycle. Now, I've had crazy energy. I had to talk myself off of an anxiety attack yesterday, and I can't tell you the last time I had that happen. But this full moon was pretty intense and energetic. I highly, 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 highly recommend you do a meditation. There are many free meditations on YouTube. You can get a guided meditation app. So I highly recommend doing meditation to start. As far as what do you do to not let it affect you? I have done many years of therapy. I have read many, many, many self-help books. I highly recommend The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, which I have right here. The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Toxic Family, Toxic Parents. In the 90s, and you can still buy this book, I'm sure it still stands up. Toxic Parents was the first very profound and effective self-help book I ever read, or something like that, if you feel like your parents screwed you up, which most people think that. This one also changed my life, Eckhart Tolle, A New Earth. As you can see, I've read it and taken notes out of it many, many times over and over. So, The Four Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz, A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. If you have, those are inexpensive ways to help yourself without having to go through years of therapy, because some people don't have time or money to sit through 20 years of talk therapy. Sometimes you need a fix that's more efficient with your time and money. And if you had toxic parents, get some type of book to deal with that. So it is a long process. I don't know how old you are. I don't know how old you are or what your name is. I imagine that's a name kind of squished together, or part of a name on your screen name. But it's a long journey, but it's worth it when you come out on the other side. I'm 54 years old, and I still have some stuff that comes up for me, but I have done a lot of really hard work. And if you're willing to do the hard work, it takes a long time, but it's worth it on the other side, when you get on the other side. Linda said, oh no. Did I miss a comment somewhere? So it's a lot of work. And also, when you become a medium, you have to have done a lot of work on yourself. And this you may be familiar with, mediums who go on live streams, and you'll be 70. You got time, girl. You got time. Oh no, which part did you miss? My Wi-Fi signal looks really good. Oh no. Darn it. I forgot what I was going to say. I got distracted by the froze. So what, did you hear me talk about all the books and doing all the work on yourself, and it's worth it on the other side? Let me know. if you want to become a medium or a spiritual healer, a Reiki healer, anything, a psychic, any of those, you have to do inner work, because sometimes you'll see on live streams. Okay, perfect. Sometimes you'll see on live streams psychics or mediums that are saying things that are evil or bad, or you have a negative spirit attached to you, or they're telling terrible things. Thank you. They're saying awful things. Okay. Those are very likely underdeveloped mediums who have not had a proper mentor, or they are mediums or psychics or healers who have not healed their trauma to a degree. So we have to do a lot of work inside before we can help others heal. Doesn't mean that I'm perfectly healed and I live in some type of utopian, happy place in my mind all the time. That is not true. I have bad days. I have stress. I have life stuff happening. But I've done so much work for so many years on healing the wounds of my past in my life that I can manage my anxiety that I had yesterday, or any traumatic event that happens, or something very stressful that comes up. I can manage it because I have learned to self-regulate my emotions. Now, when I was 25, 26, not so good on the self-regulating. But now I'm older, wiser, have grown and matured and learned how to do that. So I hope that helps anyone who is worried about their life falling apart. It's work. You have to commit to it. You have to commit to it, and it takes time. It takes patience. Time and patience, and a clear mind, and a willingness to do it. So before I answered that question, which I'm totally fine answering questions, Rachel, you can come over here. I would love it if you would join me there. So read that. TikTok is shutting down Sunday. I was talking about Oracle versus Tarot. Now, I love these Oracle cards I showed you earlier, the Star Codes Astro Oracle deck. They're beautiful. They're durable. They come with a book with all kinds of wonderful explanations of each card. Oracle cards can be made to say anything. They can be 20 cards. They can be 80 cards. The decks are not standard. Anybody can make a deck of Oracle cards, and anybody can make the deck have any design or theme that they want them to. Okay? Tarot. This is the classic tarot deck. Oh, good, Kelly. This is the classic tarot deck you've seen probably in TV shows. Actually, anybody on here watch the Mayfair Witches? The new season just came out. The newest episode was called 10 of Swords, and it had a lady doing tarot. Tarot is more standard. That's a more standard deck. You can have all different kinds of artistic interpretations of the tarot deck, but they are usually a standard deck with the same major arcana and minor arcana and the same suits. So the tarot is based on playing cards, like poker cards, like hearts, spades, clubs, diamonds, kings, queens, aces. It's based on that in the old days, and some people still do use a regular deck of cards for tarot, but that's what they're based on. And then we got the standard drawings that you see very commonly. But other people have made different versions of the cards that are more modern or more artistic. So it has 4 suits. It has the king, the queen, the page instead of a jack, the ace, and the major arcana, the fool, death, judgment, the sun, the world, the tower, things like that. So I love the sun card. And then each of these has a general meaning. And when, let's say you pull a 3-card spread, it can be a past, present, future. It can be about love or relationships or job or whatever. You can ask and pull the cards. And I never ever thought, first I never thought I'd be a medium. Then I never thought I'd be pulling cards. And then I started pulling cards and like, dang, wow, crazy. Like they're so accurate. It blows my mind. So Kelly watched Mayfair Witch. Dawn. Hi, Dawn. Linda, no. So the Mayfair Witch is the first season's on Netflix. The second season's on AMC Plus. And I didn't even know there was going to be a second season. So it's based in New Orleans mostly. It has beautiful scenery. The houses are so beautiful. And it can be creepy and scary, but it's about a family of women who have witch blood passed down. It's from books from Anne Rice. Remember Anne Rice, the author? Have you seen the second season yet? There's 2 episodes out, Dawn. Okay, so I talked about spirit guides, oracle cards. Another question I get a lot and that we learn about. Hi, Lori. Another question we learn about in the mentorship is the difference between psychic and mediumship, which is pretty simple. A psychic connects to you, a living person, in your aura, in your life, and what's happening with you. A medium connects to loved ones in spirit who've passed away. Now, all mediums have psychic abilities, but not all psychics have mediumship abilities. And that's for a variety of reasons, one of which is psychics, if they're not trained to connect to spirit, they shouldn't be connecting to spirit. I am not a trained psychic specifically, but in my mediumship training, I did get some psychic training because you have to differentiate. Is that right? You have to be able to differentiate between the feeling of a person sitting in front of you and their energy and the feeling of someone in spirit and their energy. And it takes practice to understand the difference. Because if you're talking to a sitter, you're talking to a client in front of you, you can easily pop onto them psychically and get information from them. But which you shouldn't be doing if you're doing a mediumship reading. When you're talking to spirit, they should be giving you the information. And you can tell when you're practiced at it. Lori, I might, if I get through my list, I have a couple more things on my list, I might pull a couple cards. Don't forget, I do have a tarot oracle card gallery on January 26th with a guaranteed reading. It's only $15. And I have a spirit guide workshop on the 23rd. That's, I think, only $15 as well. Beginners Mediumship Mentorship 6 months starts the 25th. The Spirit Exchange with myself and Kathy Behrens is the 30th. All of that's on my website. Okay. Any questions, please put them in the chat. One of the biggest problems I have with my students in my classes. And this was true when I taught science in college and in high school and in my mediumship courses. Students don't want to practice. Some students don't want to practice. They just want to come to class and then come to the next class. And I'm like, well, why are you taking the class? You have to practice. You have to practice. You can take 1,000 mediumship classes. You can take a mediumship class every day of your life. If you don't do readings, you're never going to develop into a good medium. You have to do readings. It's like trying to be a football player, but never playing in a football game. Practice, practice, practice. That's great, but you have to play the game to get better. I like sports. I'm a big sports person. My husband and I watch a lot of sports. It's better than the news. Clairs is another thing we learn in the mentorship, the 6-month mentorship. We have claircognizance, which is a clear knowing, when you just know things in your head and you don't know why you know them in your head. Trent, for the tarot oracle card gallery on the January 26th, it's a guaranteed either tarot or oracle card reading. There's 2 readers, myself and Lady Shadow. I've known her for 40 years. And she's an experienced tarot reader. And then we have a cap on the gallery. We have a cap so we can make sure everybody gets a reading. So, okay. Lori said amen. Okay. All right. So, claircognizance is when you know something before it happens. It's a clair I had my whole life and had no idea it was a clair. I just thought everybody knew stuff before it happened. I know that sounds crazy and ridiculous, but that's what I thought. I just never thought. It's like having an arm. I just thought everybody has an arm. Everybody knows stuff. I didn't learn that not everybody knows things ahead of time until I became a medium and took my mentorship, my first mentorship. That's claircognizance. Then there's clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. That can be inside your head or outside of your head. And now I kind of see like holograms outside of my head, kind of projected from inside my head to outside my head, which is kind of cool because I know it's coming from inside my head and being projected. Nevertheless, clairvoyance is clear seeing. Trent, I have claircognizance. Yeah. It's like very strong intuition, but like over the top. Yeah. Yep. You probably have other ones. You're just not, you're not aware that that's what it is. And that's a good point. Our clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience can be so subtle that we don't even know that it's an ability. We can have things coming into our mind and not realize, oh, that's a message from someone, because it can be so subtle. Kelly says, do you feel like it's more of a challenge to discern the internal temperature changes due to menopause? Or is that part of menopause? I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean. I'm not sure. I have Hashimoto's and menopause, so my temperature's crazy. I never know what's going to happen from one moment to the next. Okay. Claircognizance is knowing. Clairvoyance is seeing. Clairaudience is clear hearing. It can be inside or outside. All of these can be inside or outside of your head. Clairsentience and clairempathy are often used interchangeably. That's clear feeling. It can be physical feeling. I get a lot of physical pains and sensations when I'm doing readings, and a lot of emotions, but you have to learn to tell spirit to pull them back. Like I've had I think it might have been Trent, it may have been you said somebody passed of a heart attack. I wasn't doing readings, but I was getting this bad chest coming back now, just talking about it. This bad chest pain. Was that you, Trent? Like it was really bad. Like it took my breath away. Like I feel it. But when that happens, you have to tell spirit, all right, pull it back, pull it back. And you'll know that it's from spirit when the pain or the sensation goes away when you're done talking about it. If you're actually having a heart attack, it's not going to go away. But if you feel it and then you tell the person, did they pass from a heart attack or chest problem, lungs, whatever, then the sensation will subside. That's one of the ways to know the difference. Yeah, okay, I thought so. I thought that was for you. Yeah. So that's clairsentience and clairempathy. And then there's clairgustance and alience, which is taste and smell. I get that the least. I've had it a few times, but very few times. Smell more than taste. If you've ever smelled cigarette smoke and nobody's smoking anywhere near you, say you're in your house and nobody smokes in your house and never has, and you smell it, maybe my mom smoked, so maybe I'm smelling her come by me, and she wore the worst, cheapest perfume in the world, called Taboo. You probably never heard of it, but she thought it was the cat's meow. It was so bad. She was so known for it that our family friend put a bottle of it in her casket when she passed. Every once in a while, I'll get a whiff of it. And, I see, Kelly. So, in tasting, occasionally, like, I tasted chewing tobacco one time before a reading, like right before the reading. And when I logged on to the Zoom to give the reading, I was like, do you know someone who chewed tobacco? And it was a relative of the lady, and he had just passed from mouth cancer from chewing tobacco. But I know that, and this is the thing with our clairs and with our senses and with our readings, we will only usually get stuff we're familiar with in our database. Our life experience determines what our life experience and our database determines what we see, feel, hear, etc. Taste. I've never tasted, a dish from Morocco, let's just say. So I wouldn't be able to taste that. I know where it is on the map, so I may see a map in my head where Morocco is. But I never have tasted Moroccan food. So they'll give you information in the way you can understand it and use your database to the best of their ability and your ability. It's not an exact science. I always tell my clients, as much as I can remember, if I see a palm tree, it might mean Los Angeles, but you might think it means Miami. Excuse me. So it's going to be different depending on what medium has had what experience. And our clairs overlap. Most mediums aren't just using one clair. They're not just seeing things, not just hearing things, not just feeling things. Most of them are just overlapping. The more you develop your clairs in your mediumship, the more dynamic your readings will be. The more interesting, the more information you can receive because you have several ways of receiving it. So when you develop it, you want to develop all the different clairs, as many as you can, as much as you can. And your guides can help you with that as well. Your guides are there to help you develop and guide you in many ways. Kelly said, it's getting hot and cold, never been through menopause, so it's hard to discern. Yeah. All I can say is yes to that. I can't give you an answer because yes, I agree with that very much. Trent had a reading and the medium knew what kind of vape juice. She smelled snickerdoodles and my vape was cinnamon. I feel like, was that in a gallery with Kathy? I feel like that sounds familiar. Hi over here. Okay. Some mediums have clairvoyance where they see in color and some in black and white. Oh, Lori, that's a great question. Lori said, what are your thoughts on predestiny? Do you think we are here for a purpose? It's interesting that you asked that because I was contemplating that earlier and I went in a mental rabbit hole. I was trying to rest before my readings today. And I went into this big mental rabbit hole. And I'm like, I got to make a video about this. So, yes, I believe there's a purpose to our life. Okay? I believe we are here to grow our soul to get closer to God or source or the collective consciousness. But this is what sent me down the rabbit hole today in my mind when I was contemplating this. Why? Why are we here? Why? What started all of this? Where did it come from? Like, I think because I've studied astronomy and cosmology for so long, when I contemplate this stuff, I go straight out into the universe in my mind. I go straight out into the universe. Plus, I have a huge universe painting in front of my desk here. So that probably helps visualize it. But it's like, why? Is the collective consciousness egotistical? Is there an ego base to the collective consciousness? Is that why they want us to suffer in this life and grow our consciousness? And I went through this whole spiral of why? I'm a why person. I've been like that since I was a kid. Why? Why are we suffering? I know the spiritual reason, but then the logical part of my mind kicks in and is like, but why? How are we going to know? Will we know when we cross over or when we go to spirit? Are we going to know why? I don't know the answer to that. And I think some things are supposed to be mysteries. And did I hurt your brains? Did I break your brains? Let me know what you think, Lori. Everyone over here, go here. TikTok is getting turned off January 19th, according to Reuters, last I heard. So, any other questions? Any other questions? I will be live Thursday, January 16th at 6 p.m. on Facebook with Lady Shadow, the Urban Witch. We'll be talking about how to deal with all this 2025 trouble. Yeah, I understand, Rihanna. I would appreciate it if you would follow me on YouTube and Facebook because TikTok's getting shut down Sunday in America. And I'm in America, US. I know, it's a shame, right? Trent, we will only know then. I'm going to try not to have that keep me up all night. I am going to sign off. I appreciate you guys being here and the wonderful questions. Kelly, good luck with your hot and cold flashes. I'm going through it myself. My ear turns bright red, as you can see. I'm in only one of them. Isn't that funny? It turns fire engine red, and then maybe an hour later, the other one goes. Trent, girl, that is one of my biggest flaws. I have zero patience. Zero. So you are 100% correct. Everyone, Facebook Live, 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow with Lady Shadow. We're going to be pulling cards for helping everybody get through 2025. Okay? Facebook, YouTube. I'll see you guys on the other side.